In August 2015, a few brave men risked everything to save a train full of passengers from a terrorist in France. As the world learned of their heroics, tributes poured in. One day after the attack, President Obama personally called the three Americans to express the well wishes of an inspired nation. There was also praise from military leaders.
Those guys on the train in France make you proud.
As you know, evil arrived in the form of a heavily armed gunman on a high-speed passenger train in Europe. What the gunman didn't expect, however, was a confrontation with our very own Captain America.
Nearly every presidential candidate weighed in, both off-camera and on.
They obviously sniffed something out, figured something was going on, and took matters into their own hands and potentially saved, maybe, dozens, hundreds of lives.
The thing I want to say about these guys, they represent themselves, the military in our country so well.
You know what's also inspiring about these three young men? Their humility. Their modesty. They're not pounding their chests. They're not talking about how great they are.
French President François Hollande presented the Americans with France's highest award, the Legion of Honor. He praised their heroism as a source of inspiration, saying that, quote, "Faced with the evil of terrorism, there is a good, that of humanity. You are the incarnation of that." Back in the U.S., it was a hero's welcome, complete with a parade in their hometown of Sacramento.
And it's not lost on me as a mayor that the story we are celebrating here today could be entirely different if it wasn't for the bravery of Anthony, Alec, and Spencer.
The guys, they say, don't call us heroes. But as we say at Fox, we report, you decide.
Did you realize in that moment the enormity of what had just happened and how this would be a worldwide story?
They kept telling me no. Alec was like, we're about to go home tonight. And I was like, no, we're not.
I knew it was a big deal when I was sitting in the hospital and they told me to go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, right, I'm going to be able to fall asleep. And they come back like an hour later and they were like, oh, you're on TV, big hero.
What has been the most emotional part of this for you?
Well, honestly, it's just the appreciation people have shown, at least for me. Like, it's just been, like, when I flew into Newark airport, first time getting stateside, there was about 200 or 300 police officers there. And that was, like, the most touching experience ever. And just probably the appreciation, and how grateful everyone's been, how nice the French were to us. I mean, everybody's been treating us amazing. And
it really touched me. People say, like, my family rides that train all the time, or I've been on that train tons of times, because it's a popular route, like Paris to Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, just kind of humbling, especially when I'm not in the military. So like when tons of like high-ranking military people come up to me and are congratulate to me, and they've lifetime of combat or whatever, that's real humbling for me.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Spencer?
It's pretty much the same. I had this moment where this little girl was asking me like if I could fly and things like that, and that was like literally made me melt, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, these kids heroes right now, this is insane. And just the appreciation from everybody, like people that aren't even on the train, like what do they have to be appreciative about, but they still are. So. And
is it true that your nickname was Captain America even prior to this?
Yeah. I don't like to, yeah, but yes, it is.
Way to live up to your nickname.
Yeah, thank you.
What was it like talking to your parents for the first time?
Well, I didn't get a hold of my parents for a while. I tried to call my mom, tried to call my dad. My little brother was the first one that picked up, and I was just like, hey, we're just involved in an active shooter outside of Paris on a train. Tell mom and dad and Google it if you don't believe me. That was about it.
All right, here's a tough question for you, because you are three American heroes, but I want an honest answer. Have there been any tears?
Have I cried since?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
The first time I cried was when the girl was telling me that I'm her hero and asking me if I could fly. That was embarrassing because it was in front of like my whole family and her whole family at some dinner. Mm-hmm. So. But it needed to happen. I mean, you can't deny it.
You? They're on record.
Yeah,
I've yet to cry.
The interview's not yet over.
Well, I've seen him cry before, so he does cry.
What was it, Anthony? What brought you to tears?
I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were just trying to explain to me basically how much they felt that they almost lost me And I was just like, you don't understand like how I feel.
And like, we're getting all this publicity for it and all this stuff, but like really we're just grateful to be alive, frankly, if we're gonna be honest. Like, this is all awesome and great, don't get me wrong, but like, just happy I didn't die on a train outside of Paris.
That would have been bad.
And not even make it to Paris.
Do you know, I mean, other than you are still here, you're still standing, how has life changed for you? Being a hero sometimes comes with rewards. In the final part of our interview, we'll hear about that.
We heard you didn't have a car, and we heard you're moving back to Sacramento. Do you know how to drive stick?
I can. I learned in Portugal.
Well, beautiful, because that Camaro is for you as well. So. This way the important thing is, you never have to get on a train again in your life, all right?
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. All eyes up to the stage. We're going to welcome, a band of brothers who, by taking some action and by doing good, saved hundreds of lives and ignited a worldwide movement. Ladies and gentlemen, our Sacramento hometown heroes, Anthony Sadler, Spencer Stone, and Alex Scarlatos.
Do you know, I mean, other than you are still here, you're still standing, how has life changed for you?
I haven't even had time to sit down and think about it.
It's like totally upside down.
Yeah, life's literally just changed like that.
You were on Jimmy Kimmel and they give you a car.
That was crazy.
And you have a new gig. Tell the audience what your new gig is.
I'm doing Dancing with the Stars.
How did that happen?
Shut up. I guess they got in contact with one of the guys that produced Good Morning America the day I was on it, and kind of like floated it to me as kind of like a rumor. And then I got a phone call a few hours later and they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, I'll have to think about it, but I mean in my head I already knew I was going to do it. I just had to figure out the details. No.
What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I don't dance either, so I'm not
three of us, I would have never pegged Alec to have done that.
Why?
He's just wouldn't have thought.
This is Alec.
Just wouldn't have thought.
He's going to loosen up soon.
He's looking good. He showed us a video. I think he's going to go far.
What do you think is next for you? You had dreams of becoming a police officer. Do you still think that will happen?
Eventually. I mean, we have no idea what is in store for us even now. So I'm sure eventually we'll all get back on our intended tracks, I guess. But for now, I mean, we're just trying to figure out what we're doing next week and stuff like that. It's been insane.
Do the honors that you've received mean anything to you? I mean, that you got the Legion of Honor in France.
Absolutely.
You got a phone call from the President of the United States.
Right.
In those moments, do you believe that you're a hero? Does it dawn on you, I am?
No.
Still not.
Hero is just like a word. Like, I don't know if we'll ever claim that.
Yeah.
I'm
appreciative of everybody who says it, but it's just I don't think we can ever claim that because we're just thinking survival.
If we were like totally safe and we were like in an armored box and we left that armored box to like stop this train attack, then yeah, maybe we could live up to the word hero. But we were we're doing it to save ourselves too. So I mean, it's not like we really intended to do it for somebody else. I mean, it worked out that way and it worked out great, don't get me wrong, but...
Because it wasn't purely benevolent, you deprived yourself of the title.
Exactly. Yes.
I think our viewers are going to have a problem with that. I think they're going to object. Let me talk to you about today. So you're going to go off after this and be honored in a parade in your hometown. And of course, this is the 14-year mark since 9/11 and the 9/11 attacks. And already we've heard in the past week or so, many people compare what you did on that train to what the brave souls on board United Flight 93 tried to do in stopping a terrorist. You guys were kids on the day of 9/11, 8 years old or so. Do you have a different appreciation for what happened on that day this year?
For sure.
Of course. So, I mean, just when hearing you say that gave me chills. Like, I feel so much more connected to like terrorist attacks and things like that and victims of terrorist attacks, because I mean that easily could have been us if any one of 6 or 7 things went a different way.
I visited the 9/11 memorial about a week ago.
I did too. Yeah.
And that was my first time in New York, first time at the 9/11 memorial, and this was about maybe less than a week after our ordeal happened, and it just gave me a whole new perspective. I was just like, appreciative of the names just like on the stones out there, because that could easily have been us, just as easy.
Does it underscore to you at all what it means to be an American? What your duty is as an American?
I think so. I think our duty is just to act.
Yeah.
A lot of people have come up and told us like Americans would do that, like it would be American. I don't know if I'd go that far because I can't speak to everybody, but I just feel like that as Americans, we do grow up with kind of that sense of, you know, we're not going to lay down, we're going to take the fight to whoever it is. And I think that's exactly what we did.
Amen. Good for you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
God bless.
Thank you.